Right then, it's Thursday. We have a lot of Championship football coming up over this weekend and then over into midweek next week because of the FA Cup games for some teams. So I'm just going to quickly run through my predictions. Kicking us off is Sheffield Wednesday versus Sunderland. Sunderland are in fourth place. They've lost their last two. Obviously lost at Leeds in the last minute. They lost at Hull at home, which I think they'll be really disappointed with. Sheffield Wednesday, a really poor home record for them this year. Down into 13th place, but I think this will be a tight game. Sunderland sort of under pressure now with those two defeats. So I've gone for a 1-1 draw. Blackburn take on Norwich. Pretty big game really in terms of the playoffs. Blackburn are in 6th. Norwich are in 10th, but just 4 points behind Blackburn. So if they did get a win here, they'd be right back in it, Norwich. Blackburn lost away at Swansea last week, beaten 3-0. Norwich had a good home win against Stoke. But I think Blackburn, home advantage. They're a pretty good home team. Norwich not so impressive on the road. So I'm going to go for a 2-0 home win. Leeds take on West Brom. Leeds are just absolutely on fire, aren't they, at the moment? 5 point gap at the top between them and second. Brilliant win against Sheffield United. Like I say, the week before they beat Sunderland, so they're winning their big games, which I thought they might struggle with. But yeah, you can't knock Leeds at the minute. West Brom, they're in those clutch of teams going for the playoffs. Won at home to Oxford last week, but I just think going to Leeds. Leeds, they don't let many goals in at home, so I think they will get the job done. So I've gone for a 3-0 home win. Oxford take on Coventry. Oxford looked like they were away from the relegation zone and safe, but being dragged right back into it all now. Only 1 goal in their last 6, as opposed to Coventry, who have flown at the table in 7th place. So they are well and truly in the battle for a playoff place now. 4 wins in their last 5. So yeah, going to an Oxford team that can't score. I think they'll get another win this weekend. So I've gone for a 2-0 home away win. Luton take on Portsmouth. Luton, bottom of the table. They really need to start picking up some points if they're going to survive. Portsmouth, 3 wins on the bounce. 9 points away from the relegation zone. They want a couple more wins and I think they'll be absolutely fine. I think it'll be a tight game. Portsmouth only won 2 on the road this season. So they're a lot better at home. Luton, like I say, they're poor. I think it'll be a tight game though. They've got to get something. I do think they'll get a draw. So we're going to go for a 1-1 draw. Middlesbrough take on Derby. Middlesbrough finally got a win. They were on such a poor run of form, but they beat Stoke 3-1 away. Derby, second bottom. They've been in decline now for quite a while. No new manager bounce. Haven't scored in their last 3. So yeah, I know Middlesbrough haven't been great, but I think this will be a good game for them to get a second win in a row. So I'm going for a 2-0 home win. QPR take on Sheffield United. Sheffield United, they were in great form. Obviously, like I said, they lost at home to Leeds. They're taking on a QPR team who are back down in 14th, been a bit inconsistent of late. Do have a good home record, but I think Sheffield United will get back to winning ways with a 2-1 away win. Stoke take on Watford. Stoke, another team, they're in decline, down into 20th. Only 5 points out of the relegation places, so definitely looking over their shoulder. Watford won their last 2 in a row. Obviously their derby win over Luton. I can't see there be many goals in this game. I think it'll be quite tight, but I'm going to go for a 1-0 away win for Watford. Cardiff take on Burnley. I think we're on to the Tuesday night games now. Cardiff, they haven't lost in their last 3. Good win over Hull. Another team down there with them. Cardiff definitely needs to get some points on the board to get themselves away. Burnley, they're in 3rd, a couple of points behind Sheffield United. just not letting any goals. I was thinking like 1 week, Burnley are definitely going to let a goal in, aren't they? It's not going to go on forever. Never sure when to predict it, but I'm not going to go for it this weekend or next midweek. So I'm going to go for a 2-0 away win to Burnley. Massive game down at the bottom between Hull and Plymouth. Hull 21st, Plymouth 22nd, 3 points between them. Hull, a really good win at Sunderland. Then, like I say, they lost at Cardiff. Plymouth, their away form's terrible. Actually, if you look at the form, Hull are the worst home side in the division, and Plymouth are the worst away side. So God knows what we're going to get out of this game. I do think if Hull win, it is going to feel like the bottom three starting to get cut adrift. Still like 11 games after this set of fixtures to play, so it will all change. But yeah, I think Hull with home advantage, they feel like they're just the better team. So I'm going to go for a 2-1 home win. Millwall take on Bristol City. Millwall in 12th. Mid-table, and it really could go either way from them. For them, like from here, they're 5 points from 16th, 5 points from 7th. It is just so tight around that mid-table in the Championship. Bristol City are in 8th. They are definitely in the playoff hunt. I just cannot see there being many goals in this game. I think it'd be really tight. I predicted Millwall to win 1-0 last week at Derby, and they did right at the end. And I'm going to go for the same result for them this weekend with a 1-0 home win. And finally, Preston take on Swansea, 15th versus 16th. I think, Swansea, good win against Blackburn, 3-0 last week. Preston, though, I think they're pretty solid at home. They don't let too many goals in. So I'm going to go for a 2-0 home win. And then my predictions for the Championship this weekend and into next midweek. Let's see how we get on.